Hello Free Spirit, and welcome back to my channel. I am Sian, I am a witch, a Norse pagan, a tarot reader, and I live in my van with my partner and my border collie, Faye. In today's video, I'm going to invite you to come and sit with me as I do some crafting. So I try and find as many ways as I can in my life to be free. Freedom is a huge part of what I strive for, a huge part of how I identify myself with what I'm trying to find in life. And I think many of you may be in a similar position as well. I practice witchcraft, I follow paganism, I try and connect with nature in every way that I am able to. I try to connect with my specific land. I live in a van, I live as free as I possibly can. And one other way that I really like to explore freedom is making things myself rather than buying them. So I have a bunch of yarn here. I have all of my crochet hooks and things, and I also have my loom that my mum bought for me for Yule, I think 2 years ago or a year ago. So those are the two things that I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing some crocheting and some weaving. The two projects that I have today are to create like a crossbody holder bag thing for my tripod, so that when I go out and do vlogs or try and create content, I can just have that on me rather than having it in my backpack and keep trying to get it out. So I'm trying to create something that's nice and convenient for me, and it's very specific to what I need and the shape and the size of the tripod that I have. And that one I will be crocheting. And the second project that I have is creating a small mat to use on my altar, my witch's altar. I want to create like a nice little space, something that I've made with my own hands, that can hold that sacred space no matter how small or how portable it may be. So that I will be weaving on my loom. I've only actually done one project on my loom before, which was just kind of playing around, having fun, trying the loom. So this will be my first actual project with something very specific that I want to create. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So one of the main reasons why I've decided to do this project today is because it is the second day of my menstrual phase in my cycle. And I really try to live as cyclically as I can. I don't know if I'm saying that word correctly, but I try to live by cycles as much as possible. Cycles of the season, cycles of the moon, and cycles of my own feminine body. So during this phase, this winter phase of my personal cycle, I try to rest as much as I can. I try to not focus too much on business and productivity and ideas and things like that. I really try to feel into my body, feel into what's happening, rest when I need to rest, and listen to what my body is telling me. I also like this time to create and do things very physically with my hands, because it feels like a very grounding physical time for me. So I really like to use my hands and create something. And that energy of kind of connecting to the womb is very creative in itself. I like to use the energy that's inside me to create something and bring it into my life. It's also very relaxing and very calming. It's not very strenuous for me, so it's something nice to do that isn't scrolling on my phone or binge watching TV, which is something that I tend to do if sort of like left unchecked. So yeah, that's something I've been introducing, is to bring in this crafting to stop me from just turning to screens and sort of external sources of entertainment. But creating my own entertainment, and not just creating my own entertainment, but also creating something that feels satisfying and very loving to myself and to my own life. If you'd like to learn a bit more about cycles, I did actually do a video where I deep dived into that cycle of life, death, and rebirth that most things follow. So if you would like to check that out, I will link it either in the screen or in the description. I'm not quite sure how to do that yet, so I will try, but that's a really good one to go and watch. So I wanted to show you how I started off my day. I tried to give myself a really nice, soft, gentle morning. I made myself a cup of chamomile, linden, and rosebud tea, and then I did one of my favourite breakfasts at the moment, which is pancakes with hazelnut chocolate spread and some fruit on top. And I picked out like the best fruit so that it felt really good and it was really enjoyable. Yeah, really nice way to start my morning and to set up my day. Okay, welcome to my yarn stash. So My favourite colours, especially when it comes to anything to do with my witchcraft, are black, red and some kind of dark grey. So I do already have those colours in here, so that's I think we're going to go for. This is a black macrame or macrame, I'm not sure how you say that, like a thread as opposed to a yarn, but I think this is going to give it some nice structure. I forgot to say we're going to start off with weaving my altar mat. So black is the first one, and then I'm going to go for a red. I have two different reds. I have just a normal red yarn, and I also have a red kind of textured woolly alpaca blend yarn. I really want to use this one because I want to give it some texture. However, I don't know if I'm going to have enough of this. I'm not sure how much this is going to use, so I'm going to see if I can use this, and hopefully it will be enough. But I do have this if I really need to. I have this red yarn, but it's kind of, it's almost like a pink. I was going for a bit of a muted sort of burgundy red, but I think this one's a bit too pink for what I'm going for. And then finally, I have this dark, I would go for a dark grey if I could, a bit like this slightly dark grey. But I think these three colours together will look really nice. And I don't really go for a bright red very much anymore. But I think with these colours, this kind of mutes it down a little bit. But that could be my other option. We'll see. I'll bring this one out as well, and we'll see if I need to use it. Okay, so I've got my yarn, my loom, and this is my bag of tools. So I have like my knitting needles in here, I have my crochet hooks, some sewing stuff. There's a little swatch of a mosaic crochet that I did, which I really enjoyed doing, and I will be doing more of that. And I also have all of my pieces for weaving. That's what we need right now. So I need one of these, I need this, I don't think I need this right now, and I need this. This box here is kind of the base of where I want my altar. So I need the mat to be able to fit inside of it, and it kind of fits perfectly in between these two boards here, which means the length is going to be great. But width-wise, you can see on that side, it's like a little bit too narrow for these. So I think if I take these two end pieces off, I think it will be good, because I believe when you start working on it, it kind of shrinks a little bit anyway. I don't think it stays exactly in line. So yes, we're gonna do this one, and then we're just gonna go back and forth. Okay, so this is I believe these are called the warp strings. This is not a tutorial, this is just me showing you my process. Okay, so I think now I'm gonna set up the yarn, and I'm gonna do a combination of this black macrame, the red alpaca yarn, and then I think this is just acrylic, but the dark grey acrylic. I was thinking about attaching them all together, so I might just kind of roll them all up and see how that looks, and if not, I'll do them separately in different pieces. So this is kind of what I had in mind to do, to kind of wrap them all up and have them like this, but I'm not sure I like that stripy aspect, so I think maybe I will, I'm not sure. maybe I'll give this a go. Maybe I'll do a few rounds of this and see if it looks good. I actually don't know if I like the grey. Let's see if I take the grey out, even though I've just warped the the loom up on the grey. I wonder if I actually just like the black and the red and do that going up. That might actually look nice. I might do that instead. I wonder if I'm gonna have, I don't know how much yarn this type of thing takes. I don't think it takes that much. That should be okay, right? Hopefully. Okay, I think I'm gonna try it with the two and see how that goes. I'm actually really not sure if I like the red and black combination. It feels very stripy. Okay, I think I've set this up now. My camera overheated, so I just started doing stuff while I was waiting for it to cool down. I've done this first row here, which is the tapestry stitch. I might be wrong there. It begins with T. Twining stitch, I think. Twining stitch. So yeah, I'm just gonna put you on a time lapse and enjoy. just stopped with this kind of red and black hatch pattern. This, I said, is the sort of lid that I'm going to be putting my altar into, so I'm kind of measuring it against what I've already done. I've done the same again. I'm going to do the same again up here, so I think this is going to fit really nicely. So I've just stopped with the red, and I'm going to go back to the black for the last bit. Yeah, I kind of just started making up this pattern. Here was just a normal simple weave, just one piece of yarn going backwards and forwards, and then I just added another one in. But I didn't want stripes, so I've kind of liked this, I don't know, I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what this technique would be called. I'm sure this is a technique, but I just kind of made it up on the spot because it felt like that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to finish off the last little bit of black. Maybe I'll time lapse that again. Yeah, I'll time lapse it, why not? And I'll come back to you after that's finished. Okay, all finished. Let me have a test it against this. Absolutely perfect sizing. I'm going to get this thing off the loom and I don't know, see what I need to do next. Okay, and here's the, well, not actually completely finished thing, but here is the almost finished thing. I just need to weave in all of these super long ends and the little tassels. I am not a tassel girl. I do not like tassels on things. So I am going to be weaving all of those in. I will also be weaving these in tonight or now. Actually, I think I'm going to go and have dinner first, and then after I've had dinner, I will be weaving these in because I have ADHD, and if I do not weave my ends in now, immediately after finishing a project, I won't do it. One thing that really surprised me is, I think I noticed this when I did my first project, but I forgot about it, is how little yarn weaving uses. So I usually do crochet, and if you know crochet, you'll know that it uses a lot of yarn. Like you're like re-pulling the ball over and over again. And with this, yeah, I barely went through any. I sort of pulled out a chunk of yarn to put on the shuttle, and I thought I was going to need a lot more than what I put on, and for the most part I did have to add a little bit extra with the black, but for the most part it lasted for the whole mat. So I'm going to go and have dinner, and then after that I will weave in my ends, and I think I will show you the finished project of this tomorrow, and then we will probably start the crochet project. So for now, this is where we're leaving this. Okay, everything's a bit messy now because I am way more tired today than I was yesterday, but I just wanted to show you the finished piece. So I've tucked in all of the made edges, but I've also tucked in all of the fringe edges too. So I don't know how well you can see this. I don't have as much patience to set the shots up as yesterday, but this is the finished piece. It kind of looks the same on the front and the back. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And moving on to my next project, I am going to do the bag holder thing for my tripod so that I can carry this camera and the tripod around with me. So these are the yarns that I have. I've picked all macrame yarns because they are thicker and stronger. If you do know the different type of yarns, let me get one of these, for example. This is much softer and kind of more delicate, more stretchy, whereas this one is a lot firmer and just stronger. So for something like a bag where I'm carrying something heavy, these are much more useful. I've made bags out of these before and I really like how they turn out. So yeah, these are the colours that I have. These ones are all obviously full balls and these ones are all scrap pieces. I've just put the scrap pieces in because I am going to be doing mosaic crochet, so I can add in colours as we go. So I wanted to just bring these on and see if I can actually find a place for these within this project, and if not, I will just be using these. This one is probably the only one that I feel maybe doesn't really fit this color scheme, and there's actually not very much of this, so I might bring this out of the equation, but I quite like this as a color scheme. So I'm probably not going to film this one because I look an absolute mess today, and this is going to be significantly harder for me to film because with the loom I kind of have that in front of me and I do the work while it's in front of me, but with this I tend to hold the crochet quite close to my face, so maybe one day I will film myself doing some crochet. I'm also very new to mosaic crochet, so I kind of need to concentrate really well, so I might just show you little parts of the project as we go. So starting. Okay, so I have just finished I think 4 or 5 rounds of single crochet. This is the base, so I haven't done any what's it called, mosaic crochet on this base piece because I wanted it just to be nice and strong, because this is my tripod. I wanted just it to be like a nice strong base for the tripod to sit on. I've just done 1 round which will actually end up going upwards, which will be like a tube. So I have my pattern here. This is going to be just a very, very simple pattern to start with, and then I will get back to you when I finish this. Okay, this is all looking absolutely crazy right now, but that is the first pattern complete, this black and sort of reddish one here, and I've just done a new row to start doing the next pattern. So that's what that's looking like. This is like, you can't see with all this crazy yarn everywhere. Okay, I don't know if I can show you this. It is, ow. It's about 2 days, I think, since I last filmed. So I have done considerably more on this project. I just wanted to also show this first project in slightly better condition. So this is my Ultimat. Really, really happy with that. Hello, Faye. And then this is the current look of my second project, which I am really, really happy with. Base is just black. I think I have 1 more pattern left to do. So this pattern are the same. So I'm going to do 1 more of these up on top, and then I'm finished. Well, I'm finished with the tube. Then I have to do the lid and the strap. So I've got a few more on this to do. Yeah, I was just in hibernation mode for the last few days, so I decided not to film and just to enjoy crocheting my project without kind of any added stuff, which was kind of the point, but I also wanted to take you along on this little project with me. So let's finish off this last pattern. I'm just going to kind of do this and yap. I think this has been really enjoyable for me to do, and this is, I think, the 2nd month or 2nd cycle that I have created a project. I think, did I create a project last time? I can't remember now. It's the 2nd time I've created something whilst in the menstrual phase of my cycle, and I really enjoy it. I am a Renaissance soul, so I love to do just many different things with my life. I have never, ever, ever been somebody who just picks one thing and sticks to it. It's actually been something that I have struggled with a lot. I've been told many times by many people that I should pick something and stick to it and just work on it, and that's the only way to succeed or to just get on in life. And I've tried to do that. I have tried many times to pick one thing and stick to it, and it's just never worked for me. And more recently, I found that it doesn't work for me. Like it isn't who I am. It's not how I'm meant to live my life and how I'm meant to do things. And I've really been trying to live through seasons. So gosh, my face all smushed up here in a tiny little ball. I've tried to live through seasons. So that might be seasonally, as in like winter and summer. It might be through the moon cycles. It might be through my own personal phases, my own cycle. And I've done that in many different ways. And I've tried, and I wouldn't say failed, but I've tried many different things that maybe haven't quite worked. Some have kind of worked. And now I'm at a point where I really do change what I'm doing depending on where I'm at in my cycle or what season I'm in even. So I love crochet, not just crochet, but crafting in general. Like obviously I did the weaving, for my other project as well. And some people love to craft or to crochet specifically, and that's all they do, and that's amazing, but I'm not like that. So I do love to do these things, but not all the time, and I need a break from them. I need to come back. I need to do it only when I'm inspired, not just for the sake of it. So to do this only at a time when I don't have anything else to really to be productive in. You know, when I'm in this phase where I'm resting now, I don't need to think about work too much. I don't need to think about creating content or making videos or creating gatherings, which is something I also do with my sister. Yeah, this is a time for me to rest. And I've then also found that when I have kind of lent too much into that rest idea, I just sit on my phone, or I binge watch TV shows, or I just like snack and eat food. And although part of that does feel good because I'm resting, it also feels, I don't know what word to put to it. It also feels like empty and like I'm wasting my time. And I don't mean that like there's pressure from other people to see that I'm doing something, more that I actually feel like when I'm sat there doing that, I'm wasting my time. Sometimes I'm not, like sometimes I'm like, no, I need to sit and like shut my brain down and just rest, and that's fine. But for doing that for like the whole 4 or 5 days of my cycle, just doesn't feel good. So I was like, I want to do something else. I don't feel ready to work and focus on this like big mentally heavy project. And what I do tend to find is that I feel really creative when I'm on my period. So I really lent into that, and did I put that in the right one? Yeah. I really lent into that to move into my crafting, and I've really enjoyed it, and it feels really good. It feels really natural. It feels very relaxing. It allows me to kind of sit here and do nothing, but I'm also actually making something. And especially because I'm very intentional about when I do crochet, and I'm not just kind of doing it all the time and just making stuff for the sake of it. I really am very intentional about the projects that I take on when it comes to crafting, and making sure that it's something I'm actually going to use, or maybe depending on like if someone's birthday is coming up or whatever, if maybe I want to make something for somebody else. So yeah, so then by the time I've moved into my personal spring phase or my follicular phase, I have this new thing or 2 new things that I've made, and it feels really good. It feels like it's not a dopamine chase. It feels deeper than that. It feels like an accomplishment, but a very feminine, gentle, creative accomplishment, rather than me like chasing this goalpost or whatever. And it also means that then when I've finished this, I move on to something else. So then when I move into my follicular phase, I start to feel more like I want to plan things or sort things or organize things. Like I very much feel like in that energy. So then I move on to a different project that's maybe planning a bigger project that I have coming up, or maybe it's reorganizing my van or changing something, or even like doing chores in my van. So maybe it's like, okay, I need to go and do a load of washing, or clear something out, or do a deep clean of something. And then when I'm in my summer phase or my ovulation phase, then I kind of move into whatever the big project that I'm working on. And it's a really nice way personally for me. It's a really nice way personally for me that I've found to allow all of my interests and the passions and things that I want to explore into my life without them overlapping each other, without one thing getting in the way of something else. And being able to like actually fully immerse myself into what I'm doing without feeling like I'm being pulled in different directions. But then when I finish this, then it's done and I move on to something else. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little chat. I am going to finish this. I'm really hoping that I will finish this today, and then I'm going to come back and show you the finished piece. Since I've been rotting away in my van for the past few days, I've decided to take myself on a nature walk. Being inside, resting, not doing anything does have its benefits, but it also kind of stagnates my energy and makes me feel a little confined. So I don't mind doing it for a few days, But then I do start to feel like I need to get out and have some fresh air, move my body, be in nature. Yeah, so here we are. I'm taking you along for a mini walk with me and just see what pretty things that we can find today. And my projects are finally finished. I think this has taken me about 5, maybe 6 days. I think it's about 5 days. But I've completed my 2 projects. So I think we've seen this one already. This is the Ultimat. I'm going to do that now. This is the lid. So I have a box with all of my Ulta stuff in it. And then this is the lid that I flip around and I will use, oh, it's perfect, as my little Ultimat, so I can put all of my things on here. So if you would like to see a video of me trying to kind of figure out my Ulta setup in this very small space, then let me know in the comments and I will do that one next, I think. And then my second project, which I am so proud of, is my tripod bag. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love how this turned out, and it's turned out so much better than I thought it was going to. You can see all the different mosaic patterns. I've used a bunch of different types of yarn, different weights as well, which I kind of have a bit of a problem using. I tend to always use like different weights, so you can kind of see that it's sort of like it's a bit bigger in places, but I actually love that. I love that it's all different and unique. And then I've done this really nice thick, you can kind of see how thick it is against my hand, this really nice thick strap, so that it's really comfortable to wear, because I've made a couple of other bags, crochet bags, and I've done maybe 2 or 3 stitches wide, and because this yarn is kind of like thick, it sort of like digs into your shoulder a little bit, so I really wanted to make a nice thick strap that's really comfortable to wear. I've also done this little button on the front, which I'm really happy with. So let me show you how that works. That comes off here, and then there's the nice little lid. Oh, it's so cute. I'm so happy with it. So this is the little lid, and what I'll do is I'm going to show you what it looks like on me. I've got a really patterned jumper on, which is like the worst thing for this, but never mind. So this is what it looks like on me. It's like really nice and tight to my body. There's no like excess strap. This is, it's like perfectly fitted to my body. So it means that when I go for a walk and I have my backpack on, this can be on my front and my tripod can be at the front of myself, but there's no like extra space in the strap. So like if you have a shoulder bag, you can kind of feel that the weight all sits in that point in your shoulder. So I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to kind of spread the weight of this out. So right now, like I can kind of feel it like all across my back. So the weight is nice and spread out and it's comfortable to wear. So this would be how I wear it if I'm going for like a longer walk and I have my backpack on, and then I will switch. And this is how I would wear it if I'm just going for a shorter walk. I'll show you the back. So it sits really nice on my back as well. And it's really kind of comfortable and subtle but pretty on the front. So yeah, I love this. So happy with how this turned out. It's really me and it's really unique, and I love the fact that it's not utilitarian looking. A lot of like the camera gear and camera bags that you can get are very masculine, very utilitarian looking, and even though they're very useful, they're not always super pretty, and I do like things to kind of be a bit pretty, to be a bit aesthetic, to be a bit romantic. So I really like that I've been able to make this for myself. It's super sturdy because it's made out of this nice sturdy yarn, so it like feels, I don't know if you can kind of tell, but just if it's really like it's really thick. It's really thick and sturdy. Anyway, you can probably tell how excited I am. So happy with how these turned out. Both of my projects for this week. I've really enjoyed filming this video. This has been really nice to document this little mini journey and also encourage me to continue with this project and make sure that I get it done. I hope that you have maybe made a project in the time that you've been watching, or maybe this has inspired you to start a project or to do something when you are in those lower energy moments for whatever reason that might be. to do something gentle but creative, rather than feeling like you have to push through, or rather than feeling like you should just sit there and do nothing. This is kind of a really nice, beautiful, satisfying middle ground. So I hope that maybe that's inspired you to do that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. And if you'd like to see more content like this, more creative, crafty content, then please let me know in the comments. And I will see you in the next one.